All right, we are back, and we are ready to dive into our last series here for APAC of the week.
And the best one.
Oh boy, this could be an interesting one. Yeah, and now we've got Hangzhou Spark going up against the LA Valiant. Spark have been looking rather good as of late, so we'll see how they fare now against the Valiant, who's going to be flying pretty high, I think, off of that 5-map series versus Dynasty yesterday. Obviously, going to hurt to not be able to win that, but it's certainly a hell of a lot closer than they might have anticipated, and a lot of us were anticipating. So it's still a positive step forward for this team so far.
I think so. I think this is a really exciting place to be for LA Valiant, even though I'm also about to crush the LA Valiant fans' dreams in a way as well when I bring up some stats about them. But that was such a good showing versus Seoul. It was an insane show. Imagine if they won. If they actually beat Seoul, the conversation today would be so different, because Seoul just crushed Chengdu after losing to, if they hypothetically lost to Valiant. I mean, what does it even mean? It's just all crazy. But in my mind, spiritually, Valiant felt like they did actually beat Seoul. It didn't actually happen, but they played well enough that they could have.
Yeah, I mean, they took it to the brink. It was so close throughout that. It felt like, okay, Seoul, they dropped their first series to the Spark. Spark looks really good. People are really high on the Spark this season, like Reinforce and whatnot. That's an excusable loss, more of one. But then they get into that series last night, and, I have to make those tweets. I got to call people out and tell the fans, like, yeah, you're allowed to panic now, because this is not a good look. But we also kind of teed it up after their first series, even versus the Guangzhou Charge, who have been on struggle street a bit, that this is a team, this is a roster that looks like it has a lot more room for upward growth. Dia's been looking great on his return so far individually, and there's a hell of a lot more structure to this roster this season. And, it seems like it's just a matter of time for that loss streak that they're currently on to end. Similar to, 2019 coming into that with the Shanghai Dragons. It feels like it's just inevitable that they will finally get that win out of the way.
What was the stat we had yesterday? Yesterday, when they won 2 maps, and that includes the 1 map they got against Guangzhou in their opening game, they've already won, they being the Valiant, already won more maps than the entirety of the LA Valiant last year. In 2 matches, they have now more map wins than the full season of Valiant last year. That's an insane statistic. Here's another one. Unfortunately, the LA Valiant are on a loss streak, as you've said. Their loss streak is 20 matches. That dates all the way back to the last time that Valiant won a game was 2020, September the 5th. So it has been 624 days since the LA Valiant franchise have won an Overwatch League match. No, the Winter Ball does not count. I'm talking only Overwatch League here. It's the same starting lineups, by the way, that we normally expect, except maybe Gushui in for Burner. Burner has been playing a lot of the maps so far, although Gushui and Burner have shared quite a bit. We saw a little bit of banter, by the way, that you guys can't see, but in the chat between Super Rich and Dia. Of course, they were a long-time duo together on Team CC with No Hill. Team CC is the bulk of the core of the LA Valiant now. Super Rich playing against many of his ex-compatriots, and Liga as well, who's on the bench for Hangzhou Spark, used to be on that team as well. So a lot of, history between people on both of these teams here.
Yeah, very much so. I think we should be getting things kicked off here in just a moment, but I mean, these players on your screen right there, we're talking about Gushui, starting, but somebody who I don't think we're going to be seeing really hit the bench at all is Alfie and Shy. This CPS duo is absolutely stunning so far. Alfie in particular has caught a lot of people by surprise.
Sashin playing against his old team too.
The layers.
There's so many. Sashin playing against the Hangzhou Spark.
I completely forgot about Sashin playing on Spark.
Playing against the Hangzhou Spark. He used to be on this team as early as recent as last season. The layers are insane.
Even with all the prep that we do, we continue to just unfurl more and more little nuggets of information and layers here.
How about the Shy versus Dia matchup here? I mean, both prodigal hit-scan DPSs from China. Shy kind of took the limelight while Dia was away from the Overwatch League. Dia was basically Shy before Shy was there. They've both been playing way back before Overwatch League anyway. Shy was obviously just too young at the stage. And now Dia's come back for both the throne and the crown to be, claiming top hit-scan DPS in China, but Shy holds on to that one quite firmly for now. Dia's going to have to fight tooth and nail for it, I think. This is going to be an interesting battle between those two.
Yeah, I mean, even though he will go over to the Echo from time to time, but I think we definitely have to have Leave in that conversation as well, at least as long as the Soldier 76 is remaining in the meta. But even with the Widowmaker, he has impressed, both last season and maybe not so much in the series today, but yesterday. with that pick as well. So that's kind of the trifecta, I suppose, as long as it comes down to those Chinese DPS players in the hit scan positions. But yeah, this is going to be a really interesting one. Valiant, how much have they learned after that loss yesterday, that very close loss yesterday? Can they show, less than 24-hour improvement to find their first win here today? It's going to be a very tough one, as the Hangzhou Spark have been looking very, very hot as of late. But if they can get it done here, that is absolutely going to be a breath of relief for all of the fans that have been sticking by this team throughout all of the changes. It's going to be just, I think, such a weight lifted after having waited for so very long.
Yeah, there's a lot to be excited for, I think, for both teams going into the season. Obviously, a big improvement for the LA Valiant. We've already seen that. But the Hangzhou Spark as well, and we would talk plenty about it. We've heard Johnny's big rant and speech on it. And I love it because I think, he's right. It's true. Hangzhou Spark really are coming into their potential. I've heard this description in the past, which sounds like it could be an insult at first, but I swear it is a compliment. Hangzhou Spark are like the Washington Justice of the East. And in previous years, they'd be like, oh yeah, I get it, they both kind of tossed the spaghetti out with the bowl, but now both teams are kind of like, they're fighting up to the potential that they've always had, which is incredible to see. Hangzhou Spark no longer just being this team that ends up being average with insane talent. Now they're a team with insane talent that actually get the results they're supposed to be getting. So someone's going to, I think a team is going to be heartbroken here a little bit, because Valiant's still looking for their first win. They're good enough that they nearly beat Seoul, who we've established now are actually a pretty good team. But Spark are also on a roll. They nearly beat the Shanghai Dragons. I mean, both teams just came off of 5-map series where they nearly beat the team that they were expected to lose against.
Yeah. Well, pressure certainly going to be mounted for them, though. Seems like we are ready to jump into things here, as we will kick things off on Lijiang Tower. See, though, these guys have not played in quite some time. Week 11 of 2021. It was a 3-0 victory for the Hangzhou Spark. I think in their eyes, even with the roster changes on the side of the Valiant, even with the improvement that they have shown in these first 3 days of the season, anything shy of a 3-0 for themselves is going to feel like a disappointment, even if they get the win in the end. This is definitely a series where you want to come out and you want to dominate.
We'll see if you can, because there are big players and big stars on both sides here. There should be the Dia Soldier coming on through, the Psy Soldier as well. Unless Dia is staying on a sim? No, can't be. There we go. He comes out a little bit late, though. I have to acknowledge the late rollout. Alpha E starting on the Echo versus Becky's Genji.
Yep, not going to be seeing the Pharah again, but they get the ante down onto Alpha Yi, and he is quickly dealt with. A nice little opening kill there from Coldest. Super Rich just going to be zipping back, keeping everybody topped up. And Alpha Yi, there it is now, decides that he is going to shift off. Moves over to that Pharah, which was so utterly dominant just yesterday on this very map, on this very point. We'll see if he can replicate that again.
And respect to Alpha Yi as well for bringing it out twice. I think he's been the only player that is seriously looking at Pharah right now. No other team has been kind of eyeing this pick at all. Seems to be maybe looking for Dia. They'll get Dia. Brilliant first pick.
Yep, really nice little tracking there. Saw him wrapping around the backside of the sign. Manages to get that hit in. Takes down Dia, but now Langsup comes over the kill, setting Irony off the side of the map. But there's the insta-hit onto Coldest, so they will trade out on the Anas. As the extended skirmish continues here. Sasha now getting bullied, getting taken low, does get finished off. Alpha E pursuing quite far forward off the side of the map to try to get that kill. Flip still has not come through, though. It's going to be over 35% established for the side of the Valiant. It's Gushue is going to be rezzed back into the fight. Flip now being sought after. As the contest comes in, Lings are trying to buy some time, but Alpha is just a bit too accurate with these rockets.
And go to the sort of stage now as the boot back will confirm the kill to Dia. It's another 5v4, so more resetting, more waiting, more staggered deaths here. We're getting to the stage where ultimates become a factor. We have double support ultimates about to be online for the Spark. Alpha Yi, where we've seen this before, back in the dirty spot in spawn again. The Pharah spawn camping. It begins.
Yeah, I mean, it was so difficult for people to deal with just yesterday. We'll see if they can get around this with relative ease. Looks like they are not going to be playing over towards White Room, which is definitely a good move, something that the opposition was not doing yesterday. Becky with the blade, though, comes up with 2. Alpha E does take down Coldest, now they lose Sashin. So a support and a tank down. The tank down, I should say. Becky dashing over to the side, just managed to grab that Mega Pack, keeps him himself alive. The res comes in from super rich enough space being bought that they can safely bring Irony back into the fight. Have to pull away though. Gushway gets himself into a pretty rough position. Pinned in, down to 50 HP, but the cavalry has arrived and they manage to rescue their scientist. Gushway stays in the fight. The point will remain held here by the side of the Hangzhou Spark.
Man's just keeping Dia busy while Shy sprints in for the kills. Surviving a 50 HP for Gushway there as well. Alpha E just being a terror on the same angle again. I mean, it's filthy, isn't it? You can't even really do anything about it. You're hoping that maybe Coldest just lands a sleep, but here comes Dia.
Because did not find a kill. It's going to be 3 kills quickly picked up though as Becky finds 2 with the Tracer. Good look for him, and the flip will come through, and they can absolutely take the lead off this. Barrage at the ready, Alpha E hitting the ground there for just a moment. We were talking about it yesterday, that Barrage is not necessarily what Alpha E is playing this pick for. It's not all about the ultimates, it's about the damage in between them.
And there's no good, like,
find some better
defense for this Barrage, because he's not playing with, Gushway's not on a Zarya here, he's not going to get bubbled, so Barrage is going to be really tricky. He needs to find a sole member, like 1 or 2 members off to the side that he can easily Barrage without getting killed. And speaking of deaths, Super Rich going down to Dia, massive kill for the Valiant, and they have ults to play through as well, and they have the cap.
Yeah, and that strands Alpha E in a pretty rough spot here around the back. Taking some damage, needs to wait for that Mercy to come back into the fray or get some shots out from Irony to try to stay topped up. He does have the Mega Pack as well to play around, but that aside, the lead has been taken out by the side of the Valiant. Nano goes out on the Dia. Looking for a target, looking for some damage. Doesn't find too much. Super Rich, I think he just drifted off the side of the map. How did this happen? We'll have to wait and see if we get a replay of it. But now the grab is going to be invested. Goes out onto Gushway. Nano Boost is going to be used by Irony to try to keep him alive. The Barrage does come down. Alpha E finding that initial pick-off, but then he's got nowhere to go as he gets grounded. Hangzhou gets on top of Shy, finds the elimination. Now it's 99% here on board for the LA Valiant. Primal Rage pop by Gushway's trying to buy some space. Keep Super Rich protected as the res comes back in. Manages to do so successfully. They put the Pharah back into the fray. Sleep Dart goes through. Gushway taking a beating, and they get right in on top of him. They take him down. Hangzhou going to be traded out, though. Attack Visor now in from Shy. Alpha eliminated by Dia, who nearly has a visor of his own. He gets it online. He's going to pop it. He's looking for some targets, and everybody clears off the point. And there you go. Dia goes absolutely massive here in the back end. It is the Valiant taking this first round 100 to 76%.
Dude, something happened in the last 30 seconds of Lijiang Gardens there, where Super Rich was on a death timer. Respawn simulator, dies to Dia, somehow dies, just falls off the map, we have to assume, then dies to Dia again, and beyond that as well, it's not just Dia doing the damage. Becky changing to Tracer is a huge deal for the Valiant, because one way you can sort of work around the Pharah is to ignore the Pharah. Stop addressing the Pharah. Guess what? It's 5v5. If you want to play a pharmacy, you lose 1 support. There's only 3 people on the ground. Becky, as a Tracer up against 3 on the ground, has a much better time working and operating as a Tracer than you normally would have had they not had the pharmacy combo. So, brilliant move there. Now we move over towards Control Center. I was going to question, could Gushway maybe bring out a Rhine? Not going to be the case. We are going to play some Reapers, though. Dia versus Shy in the Reaper battle.
Becky here with the Mei. Get in up close, wall goes up, but it's not going to get the cutoff that he was looking for, but they still will find Super Rich just clipping him with that ante, and Irony stuck in the corner. Will end up falling. Shy now in a rough position, going to try to Wraith Walk out the back. We'll see how deep they pursue for him. Looks like not very deep at all. Cap not taken by either side, but now the Valiant will have control, will be able to snatch this up.
One of the few places I think, the Mei actually has a lot of value. You look at Control Center, brilliant place that you can put down the walls, so decent pick-off, especially when you have the Zarya and Reaper together. You can play just a straight-up brawl here. You pretend the Zarya's a Rhine and work the same sort of matchup. So see what Alpha you can get done on these flanks here.
Pushing around the back, but they're just widely ignoring him yet again. He's chipping away from behind, but they're just kind of getting tickled. They keep their focus forward on the rest of the team, and they come up with the eliminations. Very good look as Super Rich going to be walled off, rotates around the right side, really utilizing that movement speed to make sure that he does get out to safety this time. But already a bit of a rough start here on the second round for the side of the Hangzhou Spark. Pulse bomb thrown down, not going to find the stick. LBE now in a bit of a bad position, runs out of blinks, doesn't have the recall, turns around, does look for Dia here. Health pack is not available, but the heals come through and they will keep him alive.
We'll see how the Blizzard gets used as well. I mean, if you have point control, which LA Valiant do, you can sort of just bait Hangzhou Spark rather in. Sorry for that one. I know the Charge fans, the Spark fans probably don't like it when that happens, but call this down. At least we'll be happy with that.
Do get the pick off. Dia falling low, managing to stay alive. Becky, though, going to be taken out. Not sure if he didn't have the ice block up or not, but either way, does get felled, and it's still a very strong initial volley here from the side of the Valiant. As the flip does come through for the Spark. 74% established on the board. They have a Sound Barrier and a Death Blossom to work with to try to retake this.
Likely just be a bubble for Dia to walk on in, or rather to TP in with that Death Blossom. Shy's definitely got a much harder time here because he doesn't have the bubbles to work through. That's just going to be a compositional difference. With Kushroi on the Winston instead. Sound Barrier to engage, and look for Dia to Blossom now.
Blossom does go through. They get the push away there from Super Rich. Shy with the Death Blossom of his own does come up with a kill. It's Becky, though. They lose Alpha Yi and Irony at the same time, and then the Reaper falls. Dia comes up with yet another kill as they get the extended wipe, and they are right back into control. The Valiant currently on pace to go ahead and get a 2-0 first map win.
And this dive from Hangzhou Spark is definitely struggling now to get any sort of positioning to find kills. The backline seems well protected. Session's bubbling has been good enough to keep everybody alive. Becky comes back onto a Tracer, likely just to get the speed in. It is final fight territory anyway, and Dia's just walking forward. Hangzhou can't even really touch right now.
Flip is starting to come through. They do have somebody contesting forward. Looks like it was Alpha Yi, who does have the pulse bomb online. Breaking through, though. The ante goes out. Kushroi goes down. Pulse bomb in. Not going to find the kill. Dia instantly turns around. Gets the elimination onto Alpha Yi, and the Valiant will take it extremely cleanly here on Control Center. 2-0 to win Lijiang Tower and kick off this series with a win.
Huge heroics coming out, especially on that first sub-map, right? You look back at Gardens, it was a pretty tough beginning, I'd say, for the LA Valiant. Alpha Yi controlling all the space on that fire, but once Super Rich started going down, once Becky swapped over towards the Tracer as well, and Dia was unleashed to just farm down players from range on that Soldier. Yeah, just a good, well-played map overall from the Valiant. And then you look over towards Control Center, I think overall a better composition, leaning on the Zarya instead of the Winston to enable that Reaper.
Well. We'll see if a change-up comes through here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark. Maybe Bernard coming back in to enable him to, go up against Sajin, who has been looking like, even in the losses, a very strong Zarya player. We'll have to just wait and see before we get our answers. See where we go as well for that second map. That's going to be coming up in a bit here. We'll see if the Hangzhou Spark can tie things up on King's Row, or if the Valiant can take them to match point. We'll see what happens when we come back to the break, so don't go anywhere. It's already wild. Back, guys, and it's time to continue our final series of the evening. The LA Valiant have kicked things off with a 2-0 win on Lijiang Tower. Now we set our sights on King's Row to see if they can string together 2 in a row and take this to match point. Hangzhou Spark, though, going to be hungry to turn around their fortunes here and try to pick up a map win for themselves. We do see that Bernard is going to be stepping in for Guxue.
And we'll be heading to King's Row as well, where the Zarya play is going to be pivotal, so that is the strategy for the Hangzhou Spark. I do have to comment, though, when we look back on that control center for Lijiang, I still question maybe whether Guxue should have just played the Ryan instead. He's played a little bit of Ryan in the past, not that APAC plays that much Ryan, but he's got in the back pocket. Winston and Zarya control center is just not it. So they're going to be benching Guxue for now, as they want to definitely be playing a bit more Zarya gameplay moving forward. Makes a lot of sense. No other changes across the board for anybody else. It's going to be pretty damn even. I'll be paying attention to what players are going to be starting out on compositionally, because Shy so far has been really favoring the Ashe on this map.
That he has been, especially on that initial defense and whatnot. We'll see if he's going to be coming out with that, as I do believe that we will have the Valiant attacking first. So we'll see what the defensive setup looks like here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark as we do jump into this map. But, I mean, pressure got to be mounting here. Everybody looking a little bit off sorts. I mean, Alpha Yi, he swaps over the Pharah. It looks good initially, but then after that, didn't find too much value. Singular kill onto Sashin with the barrage, and then from there just wasn't able to find too much purchase. So we'll see what happens moving forward. And I was incorrect. It's going to be the Spark attacking first.
Okay, so Dia is going to start out on the Soldier on defense. He's not going to be doing any of the APAC special, the Ashe. He's probably one of the few players that, for a famous Chinese hit scan, not leaning towards the Ashe nearly as much as anybody else. He's sticking to his guns. He's been doing well in the Soldier. He's had quite a bit of a carry performance on the Soldier. Shy might even play the Widow seriously. He might. I assume it'll be a scouting Widow. It's definitely a scouting Hanzo. But there's a real chance that you stay on the Widow because you have a great matchup into both Dia and Becky, considering Becky's not even going to be pocketed. So, a lot to think about for Shy. And he's thought about it. He says we're gonna go Soldier. To be fair though, he hasn't actually spotted out Becky. So we'll see what happens.
And might still yet change it up a little bit here. Alpha Yi though, up into the skies with the Echo. It's been fairly consistent for him. Becky just hanging back around the corner, waiting for his moment to strike. Wants to dive in now. Beam comes out a little bit early though. Not going to find too much damage there, so has to cancel it. Pulls back to the opposite side of the point here to stay safe and denies some sightlines away from Shy. As Alpha Yi plays up here onto the high ground. Bionade's going to go a bit too deep there from Coldest. Not going to find a target. As Alpha Yi just drifts back across here in front of the hotel. Gets tagged low, but has that pocket healing from Super Rich to keep him sustained, at least for now.
Sash has been taking a bit of a beating in recent times as well. I believe the Bionade from Coldest has already been expended, but Lynx somehow just runs into Shy and gets that opening frag. That's first blood.
They caught him trying to go into the hotel. Looks like take him down now. Alpha Yi going to get picked off. Coldest making up for that whiff nade earlier. As Becky with the sticky bombs will go ahead, get Super Rich. Thinks of taking a nap.
Big nade.
He doesn't really need to be a part of this here. It seems like they're going to be just fine to clean it up all on their lonesome. Bernard will find one as a parting gift, but not too great. Not going to help you get in onto the point. And already we have over a minute chewed off the time bank.
It's a lot of damage output from Shy so far. Dia trailing behind slightly. I mean, well, not more than slightly, actually. 49 versus 73. But despite the good fade away by a grenade from Irony, too many players already gone down, including double supports from the side of Spark. Now that we've reset, Shy finds himself on the high ground, and they've actually pushed Valiant quite far back. Dia's in a 1v1. He gets taken down.
He does. That's a good opening here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark as they look to capitalize off it. Shy with attack visor will find Becky. Sashin strikes him down, making sure he can't find any more value from that ultimate as the grab comes in, but nade goes through. They do get the burst damage in on the Alpha Yi at the end, but they can't get rid of the rest of the members here on the side of Spark. Shy rejoins. The point cap will come through now. No real chance of trying to recontest here. They drain a decent amount of time off the time bank.
Yeah, it's been quite heavily contested, and more ultimates were going to come online for the LA Valiant, but they'll have to use that for the B defense as we look towards how much the potential for Hangzhou to get a snowball going, considering what 4 ultimates about to be on. I am going to see the LA Valiant probably throw everything into the mix here, and if you throw both your visor and your duplicate, maybe you can try and bait out more ultimates out of the Hangzhou Spark, then look for a better hold slightly further back onto B. But this opening archway, this opening bookshop should go the way of Hangzhou.
We'll have to see. Rally is nearly up here for Lengza. Could help them have a bit more staying power through these ults. Valkyrie going to be the first one that gets popped. Duplicate goes out. Becky copying Bernard. Brings another Zarya into the mix now. 4 bubbles that they can try to utilize. Alpha E says, yeah, that seems like a good idea. Does exactly the same. Attack visor currently rolling here from Dia, but everybody's kind of playing around this. Not giving too much vision over to him, so he's not going to find any picks for it. Drop down from Alpha E's, trying to get this grab online. Just a little bit more percent to get it. Has it, throws it. Lengza now going to be caught as he pops out of that dupe. Will be able to find the kill. As they look for a little bit more, the extended team wipe will come through. It's only a minute and 20 bought there, but they now break through the archway, and this is considerably more difficult to defend now as the card gets closer to point B.
And LA Valiant haven't set up any win conditions here. They've actually overspent ultimates. They spent 3 to the Hangzhou Sparks 2. So Hangzhou get to walk out of that one. And Hangzhou even spent their Valkyrie early. So realistically speaking, it was just the duplicate. And then the duplicated Graviton Surge that made the difference. We have a bit of a comp swap here for the Valiant as they're pretty much gearing up for a C defense when you see the Reaper and the Lucio already coming out. Looking for the final hold onto B, and then if this fails, their comp will start to come online a little bit later on.
Nade will find Becky. Grab now going to be thrown in there by Bernard. Nano goes out. Shy going to pop the attack visor, and everybody that he looks at will die. Pushing through, finds 4. He's looking for the 5th. Can he get it? He absolutely can. There is the team kill going over to the Soldiers 76, and that will be point B snatched up. So saving face here with the time bank now as they storm their way to B. It's 3.5 minutes to attempt the finish.
And Shy's even too cool to emote after the 5k because he knows the game is still happening. He knows he has to dive on forward, look for some early positioning, get some opening poke damage as well, set up some control. Already on 33% towards his next ultimate. He's just used one. Free pushing so far as the Hangzhou Spark and the payload. We're still waiting to see what Valiant can do with getting these next ults online. Sashin is close to the grab, and as that's happening, they need to start establishing positioning for the grab.
Yeah, they're being contained so far back. They are just now getting ready to move up now that it's in the final corner to try to contest this cart. Graf being held here by Sasha, just playing around the back side of this cart, trying to keep himself protected, build up the energy steadily. So when he invests the grab, he's got a significant amount of damage to go off the back end of it, and he does. Becky dives in as well, doubles up with his teammate. Oh yeah, sleep in, instant assassination there on to Shy to get the kills, and that is going to keep the Hangzhou Spark at bay for now.
Yeah, not flashy, just a couple of kills. Solo grab onto Sashin, what you expect in this meta when the Zarya versus Zarya is the only real relevant target to try and find a grab on. But it enables LA Valiant to stabilize. Now they have payload control. Payload isn't quite out of hand just yet. So a good position for the LA Valiant to build up a good defense, especially with more ultimates coming online. Namely the Nano Visor, here it comes.
That does get popped. Shy nanoed up as well, but didn't have the visor and just didn't have enough survivability. Goes down instantly as Dia will be able to find 2 kills, looking for the 3rd. Helix Rocket's not going to connect. Super Rich is just trying to valk his way out to safety. Hits the floor and does narrowly manage to make it back into the spawn room, but is now going to be swapping off of that Mercy over onto the Brigida.
Mercy getting lower value, I think, over onto the C point, considering less skybox to abuse in terms of flying. You also really want to have some ability to defend yourself and defend your team up against this Becky Genji, who is about to blade on this next fight.
Oh. Okay, not necessarily the target that I was anticipating here. Alpha E, though, obviously going to be really well suited to pilot the Genji and the duplicate, but he's not finding too much right now as far as that
push, though.
Duplicate ult charge is concerned, so he's not going to be able to find the blade. Becky, in the meantime, he's got his ready to go, but they zone him back. They push him away, make sure that he cannot find too much value, so the blade's going to have to be sheathed. Not much damage to be found for it.
LA Valiant over-respected the duplicate. Yeah, and now we're getting to the stage where, okay, double bind over the supports, but his burnout with the grab catches one, but instantly sound barrier.
Yep, sound barrier comes through, only goes out onto Becky and Lengza, though. Doesn't catch the rest of the team, but they're not under fire right now, so it seems like maybe that's not going to matter too much, but then again, Coldest does end up falling. Bionade connects onto 2. They'll both get cleaned up. Super Rich, the only casualty right now as the cart is getting closer. Dia tries to contest it, and just moments before, just in that tiny little sliver before Sashin was rolling in, they do manage to push it to the finish with time. So 39 seconds locked in here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark. Valiant now need to complete the map.
That was unironically the best zoning ultimate I've ever seen so far this season. And it was a duplicate. It wasn't no blade, nothing. It was Alpha Yi pops a duplicate on a Genji, and the LA Valiant scatter back to spawn. All that good positioning they had, contesting the payload, trying to control the peripheral spaces around the payload, like the backside, little tiny high ground, all that kind of stuff. They just all gave it up. They completely backed out, and you just see a 4-man push from Hangzhou Spark. Free distance, free push. Alpha Yi doesn't have to go, and yeah, sure, he's duplicated a Genji. He's looking for maybe a blade, but if he doesn't get it, it doesn't matter, because LA Valiant didn't do anything either. So Hangzhou Spark got everything out of that zoning ultimate. It was incredible, and then after that point, Valiant was just completely out of position, and Hangzhou Spark cleaned up with everything they still had in the bank afterwards. I mean, Grav still killed the player, despite the grab. Like I said, the Sound Bearer tried to counter, but only caught like a couple of members. So, LA Valiant, it's a reasonable defense, but the last second there, the last final C hold, could have been a lot better. 39 seconds is the time back.
It absolutely could have been, and it seems like they're not really keeping track of the remaining time on that duplicate, because by the time he gets the blade, it's just gonna expire, and he's gonna be pushed back into that Echo form. But they all just pull so far away, and they give up a ton of free space. It's free real estate handed over to the Hangzhou Spark. And now on the attack though, the Valiant. See if they can make up for that minor blunder and establish a good time bank with a finish here on this map.
Can't overstate how important objective control is, and well, you look at the Hangzhou Spark currently all over the point, not allowing Becky or anybody to walk up for that matter.
Yep, deflect down. Doesn't do much to Bernard, obviously. Still get that damage pushed through, but starting to get forced off the point a little bit more around the back end of the hotel. Everybody grouped together. Becky dashes forward. He pulls back the rest of the team, but as Alpha Yi dashes in, he will find Lengza. Gets Sashins, looking for a little bit more here as well. Jumps forward, trying to get D up. Get a little bit of extra damage in onto them, but will not be able to find any further stagger kills, but that is still the first volley taken care of here by the hands of the Hangzhou Spark.
Yeah, posturing from the Spark was so clean as well. You could just see how aggressively they were holding up and looking for early poke damage. As soon as poke damage is confirmed, Alpha Yi swings and gets an initial kill, and they snowball that 5v4 into further 5v3 advantages, etc., with more kills on Alpha Yi, who's now 64% alpha charge.
Becky making his way through hotel with coldness. Deflect out. Alpha Yi tagged low. Still pushing forward pretty aggressively though. Has to temper that aggression just a little bit. Bernard as well, now caught in a bad spot. Tia gets the headshot through, and Sashin will find Super Rich, and that is where it all comes tumbling down here on point A. 2 members left alive. They will have to pull back away. Alpha Yi in danger of falling. Gets himself back into the window, and there he will remain. Becky just doing some squats. Make sure you work on that thigh strength. It's just exercise, guys. Don't worry about it. And now the cap will come through. So 4.5 minutes in the time bank here for the Valiant.
You know how it is. You want to Genji 1v1, got to do some squats to keep those legs going. But we do all of that before any ultimates came online. So LA Valiant get a cap with no ultimates expended. No one even had an ultimate. A very slow A phase here where, neither team could really build up properly. We had 2 neutral fights to get to this stage, but now it's going to be a bloodbath because pretty much all 10 ultimates are about to be online, and this could go honestly either way. The order of which they come through and the value they get is going to be very important.
Okay, there's the blade. Super Rich. Shield raised, trying to stay alive. Coldest in the meantime does get taken down. Alpha Yi is in the back lines of the Valiant. Comes up with 2 kills. That's the supports now. Executed. A little bit of time bought. Control of the archway will remain in their hands for now. Dash in, and Alpha Yi gets a great stagger.
No time to do squats for Alpha Yi, unfortunately. Saw an opponent on the other end, so needed to back out. I'm sure the next 1v1 will think about that one. Sashin's down to 0 energy again, which is really unfortunate. So ends up being Nano Blade winning the fight for the Hangzhou Spark. Pretty efficient. Nano Visor on board for the side of the LA Valiant. Shy might be looking for something here as well with his own Visor. Opening grab.
Grab to Bernard. Alpha Yi going to be antied there for the moment. Dia still playing off the flank, but now Becky has gone picked off again. It's not by Bernard. Super Rich is getting in deep here with the rest of the team. We'll find Coldest. They look for Lengsa, and they will get him in the end with the shield bash. 3 minutes now left to go. Still struggling to try to break through this archway, but they still do have that combo plus the rally.
Yeah, it's kind of one ult traded. right now for the side of the LA Valiant, but getting no distance. In fact, Payload's actually moving backwards, so 2 fights later with ultimates concerned. Nothing to be gained from the LA Valiant. They don't really have a significant ult advantage. They have a single ult coming through. It's going to be a dry rally coming through first and foremost. Not even used to counter the grab yet either. Burnout still holding on to that.
Grab it on Assassin. Nano has to go on to him. Dia cut down. Alfie not given the time of day whatsoever. Shy falls low. He's managed to pull back and stay alive. Super Rich, not the dry, just a little bit there by the rest of the Spark. Still holding firm though. As Bernard goes charging forward, high energy up. Bubbles aplenty, and they just go ahead and clap back. You gotta notice and point out that ever since that teabag came in from Becky, he's not been finding too much value. He might have pissed somebody off.
It's been getting difficult. I mean, Alpha, he like the Hulk, he begins angry. That's the secret strategy there. But Irony's had 2 ultimates, so 3 fights have occurred. Irony had a Nano in that first fight in this B phase. Second fight, they rotated other ultimates like Super Rich's Rally, and then Irony had another Nano. It's been that slow for the LA Valiant to get themselves any sort of value. And Dia popped the visor, but he died straight away. Now he's in a little bit of trouble again. Lengsa could go down here if they're not careful.
Bio has to be used. Sasha anti it as well. Oh, Alfie's just into the back line. Finds the 2-for-1 swipe with the blade. Gets both of the supports. Gets Dia, and I mean, yeah, Becky, he's got nowhere to go.
Just some
squats?
Do it?
Nope. Nope. Alfie's like, you know what? I don't need to do squats. I've already done my leg day exercises. I'm fine.
He's doing pull-ups, you know, where you have to wall climb. You got to get the upper body strength there for the wall climbing for the Genji. Dia moving to the Ashe now, which couldn't really tell you what's going on here. Just lost faith in the soldier, really. I mean, are they waiting to poke out perhaps the Hangzhou Spark? Because at this point, it's been all Hangzhou Spark in this archway since that sort of 9 to 10 ultimate sort of range. About 40 seconds remaining. We had over 4 minutes originally, and this is just going poorly. Becky needs something good here.
Oh, he does. The grab does come through, and that is going to allow him to pick up 2 right in the last few seconds of that blade. So they've finally broken through this archway. Only 30 seconds remaining, though, and Bernard is going to be coming back in with a grab of his own to try and turn the tide, so there will be a final contest. Super Rich as well should have that rally online to try to match in with Lengza. So this could be a bit of a brawl at the end, but it's one that the Valiant need to win if they want to move up to match point.
They just don't really have a lot of time here. They'll be capping an OT, and then 1 minute 30 means they need a almost flawless push through C to attempt anything. They're surely not going to reach the 39 time back that the Hangzhou Spark have to survive up against this grab as well. Bernard's already looking for one.
Well, a finish would be a finish for them all the same. Would get that extra minute.
Shy
Becky goes in, cuts down Shy. That gets rid of the attack visor. Now he's in right behind Irony, trying to get that elimination, but the rally rolling from Super Rich is keeping him alive. The grab takes down Lengsa. Becky does fall. And they have Sashin pushed well away from the cart. There is nowhere and nothing for Dia to do, as he will get picked off, and that will be the end of it. The Hangzhou Spark, a little bit rough, but they managed to break down steadily that time bank that was established. It was 4.5 minutes after the .8 cap there for the Valiant. They drain it down with that archway hold, and then they stop him just shy of point B, and that ties us up now at 1-1.
Great performance coming through from Alpha E especially. Ends with a Dragon Blade efficiency of 3.0, so averages 3 Dragon Blade kills per ultimate. Just how good that is, and Becky only the 1 if you wanted a comparison. Yeah, I have to really look at the Los Angeles Valiant and what they did on B there. A lot to be desired because their pacing got entirely shut down at Hangzhou Spark, asserting dominance here and evening us up into the 1-1.
All right, well, Spark do fire back quite nicely. We'll see if they can continue with that pace or if the Valiant are going to be able to stabilize. You can tell that they are very much going to be hungry for it. It was a nice start to that map, at least on their push, but unfortunately not enough to move up to match point. We'll see if they can get it, though, in the next one as we set our sights on Dorado for Escort, so don't go anywhere. That's coming up in just a bit. All right, we are back, and we are tied up 1-1 right now. Just 2 maps into this final series of the week between the Hangzhou Spark and the LA Valiant. It looked like maybe the Valiant were going to be able to make a bit of a comeback there. It seemed like maybe they were going to be able to not deny that push there on King's Row, but Spark managed to make it to the end, and they hold him just in front of point B. So now we're all tied up. One of these teams looking to move up to match point as we now set our sights on Dorado.
And there will be substitutions coming on in. Gushui coming back in for Burner as we are moving to a map that does demand some sort of verticality. Easy Han for Becky as well. I thought it might have been the first ever substitution for the Valiant.
That's right, we had Easy Han yesterday.
Yeah, we did. We had him come in versus Sol at one point. I can't remember which map it was, but it does mean double hit scan for the side of the LA Valiant. You could technically keep playing the Zarya here on Dorado if you want to. I mean, Dallas Fuel would, but Dallas will have Hanbin. But Gushui wants to come in. I believe Gushui actually hasn't won a map yet so far this season, so maybe he'll get his first one today.
Well, I'll just have to wait and see if it's going to be, you know, maybe him trying his hand at the Zarya again or just going back to the Winston. I think we can take a pretty rough guess as to what to anticipate there. But I'm also curious to see what Easy Han is going to be piloting here for us to kick things off. We'll go ahead and jump in. Let's see who is going to be able to take a lead now in this series. Ever important for the side of the Valiant. Trying to get that first win on the board. Stop the loss streak that they've been suffering from for a considerable amount of time now. And again, they continue to show promise. We keep seeing these really good moments from everybody on this roster so far. Just a couple blunders there on King's Row from Becky. That started things off at least quite nicely.
So, looking back in history here, Easy Han came in map number 5 versus Seoul yesterday, and that was New Queen Street. And Easy Han basically played Reaper the entire time. I have to assume he's going to be doing a little bit more than that on a map like Dorado, because, I mean, if you're just going to play Reaper, I mean, Dia could already do that for you. I'm sure Becky could do that for you. If you're going to bring in Easy Han, you need to actually tap into his real hit scan pool, double hit scan. We were already seeing Ashe plus the Widowmaker here. It looks like they might be sticking onto it because they're the defending team as well. So this is real. This is their actual defensive composition. Sashin going over towards the D.Va as well. Haven't enjoyed that so far, but we'll see how that works with the double hit scans. I mean, I definitely think for a map like Dorado, you want some high ground, low ground, so I appreciate it more than Zarya, at least for A. We'll have to see what the long-term implications of this pick mean, because I didn't enjoy it when Krong had it the other day.
Shy sussing out at least that early position of the Widowmaker. Was just staring there waiting to see if he was going to come around the corner. He does not. Easy Han now repositioning. Shy is waiting for the jump shot. So come on. This is what all Widowmakers do. Why haven't I seen this guy yet? High ground
being taken out by Spark. Speaking of contesting set, there's been no contesting because the payload's already in the archway, and right now, the LA Valiant are kind of just waiting. Easy Han's super far back. He's even just playing the back apartments as Hangzhou have vacated. Where are they going? Are they going right side? Kind of just chilling out.
Alfie.
Bing chilling.
Just eats the poison trap, down to 16 HP, no problem. Waits for the healing to come through. It seems like play this out a little patiently. Jump over the top, Shy on the hunt, trying to spot Easy Han. Sees one for just a moment there. Dynamite gives him a bit of a jump scare as the shot does go whizzing past his ear. He's trying to reposition now, but in the meantime, the front line getting broken down. Gushui and Alfie both fall. Easy Han so far only
took a shot from a sniper there, but it was the wrong sniper.
Yeah, exactly. There's irony who manages to come up with that hit. Now the supports are gone, and oh boy. Okay, well, they concede a hell of a lot of space, but now they've got control of the high ground yet again. Super Rich going to be swapping over to the Lucio.
This has been a little bit confusing. I think, you know, we're waiting for, we're obviously on Shy's POV, looking to see what he can do. Meanwhile, there is an actual fight happening where somehow Lenksa got a kill. So likely they just kind of brawled on the payload, right? They have to kind of assume that was the place to be. Irony looking at the Nano now. Nano Blade should be on the menu. Alpha E still 30% away. Not a good positioning and potentially map for Alpha E to exist on the Genji, because you want to be farming up your Blade, but who are you shooting here? You're up against 2 snipers, and that's not a good time as a Genji.
Oh, yep, just like that. Easy Han finds the elimination. He's getting closer and closer to having that Dragon Blade available, but not sure if he's really going to be able to utilize it. Easy Han comes up with some nice shots. 2 kills for him in the fight. plus a bit of support, and now he's going to have that. I was going to say tag fights, the infrasight. Used to too much Soldier 76, but it seems he's going to have the infrasight available. Shy's already been having difficulty trying to find him. Now he's going to be spotted just through the walls.
Shy has to kind of 1v2 the sniper battle unless we include Irony into the conversation, which, you know, again, he did have that one shot onto Easy Han just before. The infrasight will make a big difference. Easy Han's waiting for the timing of when he believes Hangzhou will start to make moves, so about now would be a good time to pop the infrasight, actually. And Dia is still doing some reasonable damage on the side, so he'll be dropping in the bomb this fight.
Alright, starting to make their way forward. Dive into the back there from Gushway. Discord Orb goes out onto him. Sashin, for the moment, going to be antied out. Albi tries to push forward, instantly gets tagged down. Self-destruct gets forced, goes out over into the Bazaar, and that is Irony. Absolutely blown up. Super Rich will find one, though. Dia taken down, but Langza answers back, finds the enemy Lucio. That's the supports out of the fight here for the side of the Spark. It's 35 seconds remaining, and the cart has not made it past the distance that was conceded to them by the Valiant.
However, Hangzhou have more members now because of the trades and how they have happened. Easy Han even goes to the trades because they know it's the last fight, right? So you got to get back to this point in time. Easy Han waited so long to pop the infra. He actually waited until Shy popped it to pop his own, which I'm not too sure. You could have put a lot more pressure by just going earlier. Bob's still available, so that's going to be the contest.
Oh, yeah, well, they actually just sent Bob well into the back alley. They moved completely away from the cart, so he's not going to be contesting it for the moment. That means that it's going to have to be on Sasha to play forward, and as he does, he's going to be demeched and finished off. The Baby Diva gone to the Bionade. Rally rolling there from Langza, just giving that extra bit of HP over to a couple members on his team, but OT starting to bleed away. Sasha going to be looking to return now, swaps over to the Doomfist in desperation as the Nano gets invested onto Alphayi. He's looking for a target. They get in on top of Coldest. They find that kill. Reflection going to be popped. Alphayi still has some shielding here to try to stay alive. Payload moves up onto the high ground. Payload still being contested here. Sasha goes diving in. He's looking for the Widowmaker, but now needs to play the card itself. He does not. The payload makes it into point A. It's 2.5 minutes added to the time bank now for the side of the Hangzhou Spark.
And all it takes is, you know, one fight that doesn't even go Hangzhou's way, but they make even trades, and even trades favoring the attacker here. The defensive side has to take longer to respawn M. That just gives Hangzhou so much to work with, and they were able to snowball that effectively. Force Ashen off the Diva for just a wee while onto the Doomfist. If you're asking why he's not just on a Doomfist anyway, it's because, well, first of all, I think Doomfist has been kind of exposed in the meta, but also, Doomfist is very offensive, whereas I think LA Valiant want to be a little bit more defensive here with the Diva, and because Ashen doesn't play Winston, the Diva is just a poor-man's Winston.
Yeah, given that initial pullback and how much space they were allowing over to the side of the Spark, I think it's just very correct to say that they're playing this a little bit more passively. So the Diva does lend itself to that. You pop in the deflect, trying to get that kill there on a Cole, is unable to find it, but got the initial pick on the Dia. Cart now advancing past the church, getting ready to come up the final ramp here in front of point B.
It's been a lot of unimpeded push for sure. And Alfie is nearly onto another blade, so Nano Blade coming on in. Good damage from Dia. There's a second bomb being earned. This one hopefully will land on the actual payload. But it seems like Hangzhou Spark have backed off for now.
Shy, bit of a rough spot. Yeah, doesn't get enough healing there to try to keep him alive. Dia eventually able to confirm the kill. Bob still at the ready, and it's 3 members now contained inside of the bag.
The blade's gone.
Trying to push onto the high ground, and the blade is absolutely lost. Dead on arrival. Easy Han says, thank you very much for that. Nade down from Coldest keeps everybody topped up. Gushue in a rough spot, leaps to the high ground. He does have a primal available, but it's not the right time to use it. That being said, he's running out of opportunities because, yet again, it's only 40 seconds remaining on the clock now.
I'll be real, man. Like, we've heard the whisperings of, you know, maybe could we get a double hit scan sort of meta. I remember when we first saw Overwatch 2, and it's like, well, if there's one less tank, double hit scan should surely be the play. It's taken this long to really see anything like that. Ash and Soldier together, beaming down targets from long range. You see how hard it has been for Gusha. He does have a primal to play through now, as you've mentioned. Gotta make this work. 20 seconds remaining. 5 ultimates on board for the LA Valiant. Surely they hold.
I mean, you would think it would be catastrophic were they to lose it here. Easy Han now going to be dropping down. Nanovisor at the ready. He's looking for a target. Has to break through that initial shield, but now gets in behind Irony. The pushback there from the whip is going to be good. Denies him sightlines onto Irony, so they keep the Ana in the fight for a little bit longer. The rally now going to be rolling, but Alpha Yi is dead yet again. Gushue falling lower and lower. The Primal Rage now expired. Still with a sliver of HP as the supports will all fall. It's headshots abound here for the DPS on the side of the Valiant. And the cart will be held here in front of point B.
Listen, we've all heard the meme of no hill spending 12 hours thinking of the composition. Is this the one? Is this what he thought? Because, I mean, this is kind of, it shouldn't be that big brain, but it kind of is at the same time. Play Dorado, brilliant sniper map, do the double hit scan. He's playing around his kind of weaknesses on the roster as well, because, you know, only one tank on the team. It's an off-tank player. Not going to have many of the actual main tank picks available, so if you can't play the Winston, I guess you have to play the D.Va here. Like I said, the poor man's Winston. And now Los Angeles Valiant, with that, here's the bone I will throw Sash on the D.Va. You can efficiently help your hit scans outplay Shy that much more by having the Matrix defensively to just pocket Dia and EasyHunt in those battles, right? So they got that going for them. But what I'm not pleased with so far is, for the Hangzhou Spark, you kind of have to find ways to speed up your gameplay to outpace the hit scans and land on those backlines. I actually wouldn't mind them going for a straight Doomfist here. That would seem like a pretty strong pick to me. I don't know. I know that Gooseray has played it, but maybe they didn't think of it at the time. But if you think about LA Valiant playing double hit scan plus D.Va, a Doom actually has a great matchup into that, in my opinion.
We'll see if they land on it at any given point here, or it'll just be much more of the same moving forward.
4, 3,
Easy Han, surely not.
1. Attackers incoming.
He's gonna at least send a nade out, and then I'll swap over to the Widowmaker, see if we can find some picks. I mean, hey, you can hear that tick, so it actually can give you a little bit of a reveal if you get in the right spot.
What is that? Just like a bad recon arrow? Yeah, bad Sonic?
Yeah, pretty much. But again, it gives some damage, so it's better than a Sonic arrow.
Some damage that doesn't charge your ultimate. Got it. As he swaps heroes.
Yeah. Well, back to the Widow v Widow. This time Shy going to have those defensive sight lines to play around. He's having a really difficult time trying to figure out where EasyHunt was at on his own attack, so we'll see how he fares this time.
Alpha Yi must be hating life.
Tagged
low. Just going up against double hit scans plus Coldest now on a Zen. He's been discorded. Alpha Yi on an Echo versus this is a total nightmare. And the Zen does a lot in this comp as well, considering you don't have to worry about really being flanked. There's no Tracer. Alpha Yi maybe should consider a Tracer. I'll put that out to him.
Well, for now, still sticking through with it. He's doing a good amount of damage, building up towards that duplicate here rather quickly. 60% on the board as well. There's the break on Assassin's Mech, and the elimination on the Baby D.Va as well to boot. Dia now in a bit of a rough spot. He's trying to trade this kill out. Can't do so, but Super Rich doesn't make it to the opposite side of the cart. He dies, and then EasyHunt comes in for the alley-oop. And there you go. That is the Sky Duo taken down. Shy low HP pulls back over to the mini pack. Gushue has the nano boost right now. Just charging through the flank. Has to get in on top of this D.Va, or at least on top of this Dia. Getting a bit more damage through Primal Rage. Health now going to be popped. Pushes him into the fountain. Is looking for a little bit more. Will get the elimination in the end. Comes well into the back lines. Gets a smack there onto EasyHunt, but realizes that he's not going to be able to stay that long. Cannot get the kill. Goes back to safety.
Also doesn't, isn't totally aware of where the rest of the LA Valiant are, so you don't want to be caught out there with no Primal as it runs out just for one kill. So they'll hold for now as they get down the important members. Notably Dia's gone, no Bob just yet as well. Transcendence available, which I think you should pretty much just tempo Transcendence, right? Because there's nothing really to counter here, so you just want to use it like a tempo beat. Rush in with it if you can.
No one can hide on my sight.
Just a little bit ahead of EasyHunt here. Knows where he is, but wants to just try to power through this mech for now. Charge into the back, takes him down about half HP, but they will get the break. That's going to force the self-destruct to just pull away from that one. Jumps up into the air. This time the self-destruct not going to find a kill. It's tagged as he leaps up here onto the high ground, but Shy still finds a nice little pick off there onto Lengzen. With Dia going down, this is even more time bought. Cold is dead on the back end here. Still a good amount of ultimates, nearly 4 amassed here for the side of the LA Valiant, but they might need to utilize multiple of these to try just to break through into point A.
It's a lot of time loss, right? We're down to below 1 minute now, which means this fight, to me, kind of has to work, because this is the one that Valiant will be investing all their ultimates into. You also have Infrasight in a position where Shy does not, so EasyHunt needs to basically use this, I'd say, within the next 5 seconds to push. There it is, even earlier than that. And if they lose this fight, they'll have no ultimates, so yeah, they have to win this.
Okay, now the rally's going. Just trying to get Coldest in with some of that extra HP. Alpha E goes for the dupe, takes the D.Va. Got a nicely placed self-destruct. It could be massive, but EasyHunt. That's also a huge pick-off. Shy goes down. Alpha E not going to get a chance to use the dupe ult.
Primal.
Getting knocked out of it is Gujwei. He's got a couple people contained here in the side room with the Primal Rage rolling, but can he get the kills? Focus Fire's coming through, and they absolutely annihilate him with the help of that Discord Orb. Alpha E floating around on the flank is just going to have to try to pull out of here, and he goes off the side of the map. That will be point A locked in here for the side of the Valiants. The victory very much still in the cards. 2.5 minutes now just to get a little bit shy at point B.
And I think in any other circumstance, Primal Rage, especially in the hands of Gushrey, would get a multi-frag there, but you have Lengsa, Coldest pumping heals into each other, and Spire healing in particular is just going to be obnoxious to play against as a Winston. So they contain it. They have the 4 ultimates they played through, used all of them. The only ultimate they have left is now Sash and Steva Bomb, which see how that one gets used. We're not really in a Diva meta, so it's hard to read exactly how that one's going to be offensively used. Maybe it's just defensively, you know, you can just throw that one up when Alpha wants to go for a play as well. But focusing on the payload for now, dipping and diving between a little bit of high ground, Sasha just keeping the Hangzhou Spark honest.
Sasha just denying as much damage as he can from the enemy Widow. Shy receiving some dynamite. It's a little bit of topping up there. It seems like he will get it. Rich just making sure that he is right back into the fight, but the card is still advancing, and they need to contest this soon. It is so darn close, and they have that self-destruct to just try to buy some space to get that final cap through. Just a couple meters away now as he continues to roll up. Shy peeks the corner, finds Link, takes him down, but Sashin rolls up into the church. Barrels him over. Gets the kill, alleviates some pressure now. Super Rich is gone. Dia has the headshot. Irony is out of the fight. It's all on Gushwei and Alpha Yi, and they have no HP to speak of. Alpha Yi around the back will get one, but he cannot touch the cart. The Valiant make it happen. They move up now to match point 2-1.
My goodness, we've seen it before. The LA Valiant fans that are in the YouTube chat right now, you've seen this before yesterday as well. You were 2-1 up against the Seoul Dynasty, and then the next 2 maps didn't go your way. Now we get to run back
you just
the
have
same
to throw
situation.
that out there, don't you?
But I have to be honest, we're running it back. No, I'm putting a positive spin on it, Achilles, because what I'm about to say is you get to redeem yourself from yesterday. You get to redeem that situation. You get the 2-1, but can you actually get the win now? With the run it back, I mean, a brilliant Dorado, honestly, a great strat. Credit to No Hill, really is No Hill season. Double hit scan on that map versus Gushrey Winston, Shy 1 versus 2, can't get anything done. Great matchup, I mean, applaud the coaching staff of No Hill and Co for coming up with that one for that map.
Well, here we go. 2-1 the lead for the side of the Valiant. Hangzhou Spark now needing to win on our next map of Coliseum to push us into a Game 5. If they want to walk away victorious, if they do not want to be the team that gives the Valiant their first win in so very long. This has throes of, 2019 Shanghai, every team not wanting to be the one that offers up that first victory. Spark are in that position right now. We'll see if they can dig deep enough to come back in for this next map and take us to a Game 5. Either way, I'm certainly excited to see it whichever way it goes. Whether it's done, whether we continue onward, I'm all aboard the crazy train. Let's go ahead and throw to a break, and when we come back, we will have Coliseum. And we are back and going deeper into this last series of the week. The LA Valiant currently in the lead, 2-1. They get the victory on Dorado. They stop Hangzhou from pushing, and then they exceed that payload itself. Now we turn our sights over to Coliseum to see how they're going to be faring on push. But, I mean, they're just so very close right now. You can feel that tension in the air. It is palpable.
Yeah, I mean, we get off of King's Road, it's starting to feel like, wow, Hangzhou Spark are definitely getting the edge over Valiant. Maybe Li Jung was just a bit unlucky. Commented about the, weirdness of the comp choices coming through on the control center, but we look at Dorado and it's completely flipped the other way around. LA Valiant do a great job of defending B in particular, and A actually, to be honest with you. Double hit scans proving to be a nightmare for both Alpha Yi and also Shy. But as we head into Coliseum, Seth, we have 2 substitutions coming on in. Burner coming back for the Zarya gameplay here, and Becky coming in for likely the Genji.
Well, we'll have to see if that's what they pick up, but seems fairly straightforward, at least in our minds, but we'll have to wait and see. Today has been, I think, anything but straightforward, at least in these last 2 series that we have had. Things have been very much up and down, back and forth, everything moving in all directions. Now we go to Coliseum to see if the Valiant can get this 3-1 win. They had that 1-3 loss at the hands of the Charge in their opening series, or if this does end up going the distance and the Valiant end up playing back-to-back Game 5s.
And the pressure will be on, right? Because, that sort of monkey on your shoulder, that thought in your head, in the back of your mind, it's like, we nearly had it versus Sol. I mean, it goes both ways, doesn't it? Because it can motivate you, like, we're not losing this time. We are definitely going to get that map 5 if we go there. Or even now, we're at match point, we're not losing map 4 this time. Or, that pressure can definitely crumble you as well. We've seen the LA Gladiators lose twice in a row now. 2 reverse sweeps in a row after being up 2-0. So, your mental capability to stay in the game and actually close it out. I mean, sometimes winning that 3rd map after getting 2, that can be the hardest thing to do. So, LA Valiant, where are your mentals at?
Well, we shall see. So Becky coming back in for the Reaper. Dia there on the Soldier 76, just going to have mirrored compositions on both sides. So everybody gets ready to collide here by the fountain. Timer will start. The bot unlocks in 8 seconds. Dia gets this little early damage in. Shy not too far behind though.
Yeah, both looking for fountain control as well on that flank sheet. It's just both the soldiers kind of trickling in damage as the main chunk of the fight will now occur. Alpha Yi already forced a shift, which is not ideal.
Super Rich is dead. Good opening kill here. On the side of the Valiant, the bot is now unlocked. Alpha Yi as well, just melted down. Everybody focus firing the Reaper. As soon as that Wraith Walk is gone, the bubble's not going to last long enough, it would seem here, as Bernard will also be hounded down. They are pursuing so far forward, already over towards the 2nd checkpoint, just looking for these additional staggers. The bot, in the meantime, being brought forward by, you would suspect, Coldest. Irony as well, now going to get caught. He gets dropped. Becky continuing to play up. Wraith walks around the corner. Super Rich is dead, and I mean, this is just an extended one fight. This is just
ignored
brutal.
the payload. They've ignored the payload. They are going to get a ton of kills, but somebody's got to get the push. Because you have to convert this. Here's what I will say. You are building up your economy. So with chasing that hard, you are at least building up your economy. I would have probably preferred if Lynx had maybe ran back for the payload, because at this point, Hangzhou are going to group up. The good news is Dia has high ground control, except with Nano now, waiting for the visor.
Dia is still very close to having one of his own, and Shy kills himself off with the Helix rockets. Sassen did similarly, it would seem, though, with right-clicking unless he went off the side of the map. Didn't quite catch that one. Either way, a bit awkward from those 2 players, but the bot now being shifted back the opposite way, ushered here by Bernard.
And what's awkward is that Dia had the control, it felt like he had more damage, but Shy actually found the visor first, so Dia's there like, I'm 1% off, I've got a nano, but I can't do too much with this just yet. Shy now looking for a big boy flank, completely unspotted, he's gone all the way around.
Oh. Well, that he is, but now he might have overstepped. Yes, he has. Dia collapses in with the help of Lengsa. Displace him, make sure that he cannot get out to safety. Sasha, in his dying breath, throws that grab, and Becky there for the alley-oop, manages to find 2 kills, is looking for a little bit more. Wraith walks instantly cancels it and gets the kill onto Bernard. Just like that, the bot gonna start shifting back the opposite way. Becky just, you can see there, Clay Pigeon shooting as Irony goes flying by. They yell pull, he gets the shot. It's gorgeous. Now the bot is moving.
And the crowd golf claps that one, including me. Session's still coming back from the spawn, as you can see, so can't afford to push the payload, the push bot too far here, and that's kind of the, you know, one of the things about push, right? Because you do have to make sure you're properly grouped up. Once you go into enemy territory, the spawns are no longer in your control. And there's a lot of ultimates online for the LA Valiant, and some more ultimates coming online soon for the Hangzhou Spark.
Becky forcing them off the high ground here as the grab comes in from Bernard. They will be able to get Sasha, but now Dia has that tack visor, and he's got the sound barrier shielding, but they managed to get in on top of him. Alpha Yi and Shy both coming up with the elimination as Bernard puts 2 more into the grave. Bot going to start shifting forward. It's not that far apart now, just 16.5 meters to go to tie this up.
Lexa maybe had to beat a half second to 1 second too late there in order to save Sashin. So, really unfortunate as we...
Support still being ushered over.
I mean, it's slowly getting there, isn't it? Double Death Blossoms online. Nano Boost very important for Irony. And Bionade's been used by Coldest.
Oh, well, okay. Death Blossom into the back. Becky finds Irony, takes him down. Can't react fast enough with the sleep to try to get that shut down. Super rich now. Just going to have to funnel right into the shotgun blasts. Does fall. Shy. Now just looking like he's going to be sprinting away. Trying to survive. Will make it back out to safety. He can recontest before this bot retakes the lead. There's a plethora of ultimates utilized here from the side of the Spark.
I mean, Spark have to use his ultimates just to get control of the payload, let alone get any distance on it. To be fair, they have 2 meters in the lead, so it's enough to work with, but it's nothing to write home about just yet. Nano should be coming through from Coldest on this fight for sure. Anytime now.
So Nano onto Alpha Yi, pushing forward. Anti out onto 2. Bubbles come through. They cleanse Becky, and he goes right back into the fray. Takes down Alpha Yi. Bernard, however, is quick. Trade that back into their favor, but Sasha now finds Giants and DPS-less comp right now to the side of the Hangzhou Spark as they wait for them to rejoin. Bot going to be advancing back forward over towards the Spark side of the map as Dia is just starting to rip people to shreds. Rich finds Coldest, but as the bubble expires, Bernard will fall. The bot not sure which way to go. They will finally start shoving it back over towards Spark side of the map again.
It's too hard for Valiant to get distance though, because look at the spawns. Bernard's already back in. Sasha look for the solo grab and a Shy. It's effective. They'll actually get a nice 4v4 situation now. I say 4v4 because Irony is still running back currently, not quite with the team just yet. And they have capped over. Can they get the checkpoint though? 5-ish meters away. Yeah, they look like they have it. There it is.
They've got it. It's just conceded there from the side of the Hangzhou Spark. Trying to poke and prod. Wait for the right moment to try to strike. Here comes the attack visor though. Anti goes out. Dia down 29 HP. Pulls back around the corner, but Alpha Yi comes dancing in on their heads. Finds Lings as well with the Death Blossom. Starts shifting the bot immediately as the rest of the team here from the side of the Valiant is trying to stabilize, but Alpha Yi says absolutely not. We'll get the cleanup there onto, I believe, 4. As the bot starts shifting back, it still is a closable distance.
I feel like we've seen this before, right? We've seen the 67 point, whatever coming through, and it was nearly a draw in that last game we had. It's that one checkpoint that really makes all the difference here. Becky teleporting to, I believe, the high ground there, as this will have to be an expensive one for the Hangzhou Spark. Ultimate's coming online, and plenty will have to be used.
Bubbles go down. Alpha Yi taken low. Just the Wraith walk as the Death Blossom is nearly there for Becky. Nano Boost going to go in, though. And that's the grab thrown in. Sound barrier comes down from Langza just to try to keep everybody alive. Now Super Rich going to be matching with one of his own. Alpha Yi, however, still continues to push forward. Finds Becky. Coldest survives for a little bit longer there, but Alpha Yi will come up with the second kill. Bot still just being contested here for the moment, but as they clear this out, as Sasha goes down to one of his own right clicks, it will continue to advance forward. They're now looking for the checkpoint. They're now looking for that forward spawn, and they find Langza at the very end of the fight for a great stagger.
And this is, yeah, like you said, staggering is really important here because now LA Valley aren't going to get anybody together. This will be a checkpoint found. In fact, it should actually be the Hangzhou Spark taking the lead. And with less than a minute to go, I mean, you do not want to be the team stuck in OT. And the team that gets stuck in the OT is the one that's going to have the worst amount of distance here. Shy keeps them away, but can they actually cap? Because LA Valley have arrived. It's a huge name.
Sasha stands, yeah, the nade goes out onto 2. Becky tries to pull the trigger on that Death Blossom, but he just delivers himself unto death. Langza trying to delay as much as possible, but also get a little bit of a reset in, because there's now 30 seconds remaining. So Rich finding that final kill of the fight. Bot coming up, looks to be the final ramp here, As the
This is
distance
looking like
is
map
now
5.
very much growing in favor of the Spark.
Yeah, this is too much distance, 90 plus already. I mean, consider that LA Valiant, once the OT hits, has to push all of this distance back because we're nearly at 100 meters. That's insurmountable. This is really rough. And by the way, Alpha Yi has a flanking angle. He's coming down.
He does, and he has the nano boost thrown into him as well. They try to push him away, but he still gets on top of Coldest. He gets Sasha, and he gets Becky. He gets just about damn near everyone. A team kill at the very end. The Hangzhou Spark will be taking us to that final map. So very close.
Whew.
Valiant with the lead for the longest time, but one big fight, one big push. They make it insurmountable. They do not surrender control of that bot again. Hangzhou Spark persevering to the very end, and now you really have to start worrying. You kind of teed it up here, Avril. You said they have the opportunity to redeem themselves, but now the question very much has become, is this history repeating itself just a day later?
It's two maps that they can redeem themselves on, right? It's this map 4 and it's the map 5. Dia's looking maybe a little bit worried about this, and this is, we got to calm the nerves down. They're so close once again, but LA Valiant, if you want your very first win in 2 seasons, they're surely being made to work hard for it. They are really made to bleed as much as possible just to get the first ever match win. Another map 5 in 2 days.
Well, it all comes down to this. Will it finally happen? Will the loss streak be broken? Or will the Hangzhou Spark stamp out that hope and push it off to another week, another day for the Valiant and their fans? We're going to find out, because when we come back, we're going back into control. We have Oasis to close out this series, so do not go anywhere. And here we go. Another Game 5, this time between the LA Valiant and the Hangzhou Spark. Tragedy could strike again, about 24 hours apart if the Valiant drop the ball here. Hangzhou Spark, though, rallying back after it looked like they were down and out after that Dorado, but they come back on Coliseum. Now it all comes down to this last map of Oasis to see who is going to be walking away victorious.
And while the exact, order the maps won is not quite the same, I do have to bring up that the Hangzhou Spark yesterday as well lost their 5-map series versus the Shanghai Dragons. They went to the final map,
Very true.
and they couldn't quite clutch it together. So both teams looking for redemption on a map 5. Both teams fresh off a map 5 loss from just yesterday's game. So somebody is going to get heartbroken here. Somebody is going to repeat yesterday's disaster, but one team will be redeemed.
Well, we'll see who it's going to be. I mean, kind of talked about at the beginning of the day, that map 5 set there from the side of the Hangzhou Spark against the Shanghai Dragons. Coming into this, like I said, I think anything other than a 3-0 for themselves is still going to feel like a disappointment. So even if they get this map 5 win, yeah, there'll be a sigh of relief, but there's also going to be a sense of, okay, we need to really hunker down for, practice going into week 2 because that's all you've got. You've got that, and then the tournament begins. We have this condensed schedule. You don't have that much time to really correct mistakes and whatnot.
Yeah, I partially agree with that, but the part that I'm not too sure about is that, you would have to be undervaluing and underestimating the LA Valiant quite a lot to be Hangzhou have to stomp Valiant. I just think we're not looking at the same Valiant anymore. I think Valiant, based on their performance yesterday versus Seoul, how they're playing against Hangzhou now, who we've established is actually quite a good team in the Eastern Division. Valiant are no slouches. I think Valiant are a solid mid-table team that I have above teams like Chengdu and Guangzhou right now. I think Valiant in a position where they should be getting a win, but can they get it now? Is it going to be today, or are they going to have to wait longer? But they're a team that inevitably, I think even this stage, are bound to get a W somewhere, because you have to play up against every other team. Remember, in APAC, because there's only 7 teams, you play full round robin. There's no strength to schedule discussions. You're going to play everybody. Eventually, Valiant are going to find a win, right? Surely.
Well, we'll see if it's going to happen right here, right now, or if they're going to have to wait a little bit longer for it. I do agree. They have looked so much better. I mean, we had that call out from the very first day when they lost to the Guangzhou Charge, where the only map win they were able to get was when Guangzhou forgot to step on the cart on Route 66. They still looked better
among other problems.
that moment.
Among other problems on that
yes,
map, but yeah.
among other issues. But they still, even in that moment, were able to look good and look much more improved compared to last season. So, I'm right there with you that this does look to be a much improved team. This does look like a roster that, by the end of our first tournament, absolutely could be resting higher than the Guangzhou Charge. We just kind of have to wait and see how things play out, but it can all start right here. That narrative can really begin if they can get this win.
And it's just, the sad part is, even if they lose, you're still in the conversation of they're still a good team because they've run into map 5s versus 2 of the, I would say, probably top-ish teams in APAC by now. And they've had the match point twice as well, which is where the real heartbreak comes in, because you've been at match point, but it's just been so hard to close out. Let's get into map, the final one of the day, the final one at week 1, by the way, as well. Hangzhou versus the LA Valiant. It is going to be City Center. What do we have rolling out? Pretty much equal compositions. Becky on a Tracer.
Well, Alpha Yi feeling good after his performance there in Coliseum with the Reaper. Shy takes a fat chunk of damage there right off the rip, but will get topped up. There's no pick to be found as Becky tries to make his way around the backside, playing along the street, and he gets sent out of the traffic by Super Rich. What a way to kick it off. It's been a while since I've seen that kind of a kill come through. Shy will find Lengza at the same time. Point now unlocked. Spark can go ahead and take this for themselves.
I feel like I just got punched through my monitor. That was crazy. Just the whiplash of seeing Becky's ragdoll fly off as a car came in from the left side. Dang, dude, that was rough. Hangzhou, brilliant start for them, though. They'll be enjoying that one. No one really running away with ultimates just yet. Both of our Ana players are at least ahead. But another kill into LA Valiant means you'll just have to back up and reset once more.
Yeah, they're chasing forward. They're finding a kill here onto Dia. Looks like Becky trying to make his way out of here. They will actually get the sleep dart in. Coldest will pick up that kill there on a Shy, but Alfie claims the other two. This is why he comes back out with the Reaper.
Stagger.
It is his favorite character.
I'd say his favorite character is probably Genji, but he'll settle for the Reaper today on this particular map.
Yeah, I'm just going with this crappy meme, you know?
Okay, I saw what you did there. I will say that Valiant there, losing the extra members after dropping Lengsa, they had a full team wipe. That's obviously not what you want here. Alpha Yi hiding.
Alpha Yi's in a bush. He's hiding on bush. Okay, he doesn't get anything really for it.
I got that reference.
Thank you. He does make it out of there safely. Drops back down right up into Becky's face. A couple quick blasts, chunks him down low. Irony in the meantime, gonna find Dia. Nanoboost gets invested. Becky, empowered, pushing forward, looking for Bernard. Back around the corner though. Needs some help desperately. Bubbles offered up by Sasha, takes the Wraith walk over to the side, goes back over towards the street side of the map. And watching Super Rich's performance, they play on this side of the map. Can he get another environmental kill? Looks like the answer is gonna be not yet.
I mean, everything's in the favor of the Hangzhou Spark. In fact, they actually stall this one out. This is really good. They can play this one super slowly. They have a huge ult advantage. LA Valiant have nothing. We get to the 90% mark. It turns to the final fight. You blow these ultimates like the grab and you win.
Yep, they slap it down. Becky gonna find Bernard. As the Tech Visor does come in from Dia, now gonna be matched by Shy. Turns around, Alpha Yi drops in the Death Blossom, and nobody's able to touch the point there to even force out overtime. It's 100-0 to kick off this 5th and final map. Not what you're wanting to see if you're cheering for this Valiant win. Still have opportunities though. Have to come back and win here on this next round. Looks like we're heading into Garden, I believe. Gardens.
I mean, it was a 0 to 100, dude. That's really rough. It starts with Super Rich sending Becky straight to traffic, and you know the rest of the round was more of the same. To be honest with you, I have to go back to that major stagger around the 30-40% mark where Lengsa died, and the rest of Valiant just fell over. Like they needed to back out, but maybe they got caught. It seemed like they were still committing. I'm not too sure, but they have to go through the long way now if they are going to win this map in the series. It's going to have to be a reverse sweep on Oasis, starting with Gardens, and we still have University go through. So Hangzhou Spark, match point confirmed. 1 round away from securing the series.
Oh, Dia. Okay, well, he is just going to get out-dueled there. Shy cutting him down. Here comes Super Rich from the flank, looking to displace him off the high ground. Not going to be able to get the boop, though. So he does not deny that away, but now tries to lock off Coldest, sends him back down the stairwell. Landing here, it seems like Spark have established their dominance here on the high ground. The point cap now getting ready to come through as Shy finds Coldest with the Helix rocket. Sasson antied out there for the moment, hovering down around half HP. Cap will come in, the rest of the Valiant will be able to pull back and keep their lives, but it's already a little bit of a rocky start. I mean, look at the discrepancy here between Shy and Dia.
Well, Dia dies straight away, right, to Shy, where Shy just then goes on a rampage, he gets a ton of damage. Not a rampage of kills, just a rampage of damage to charge things up, and this is where the snowball begins. You have that initial 5v4, it's the same thing that happened on City Center, and it continues going. Shy, when he gets this visor, it's gonna be rough for the side of the LA Valley unless they can shut it down, but they lose another player early.
Lengsa is desperately trying to get them off this high ground, gives his life for the attempt, but fortunately it doesn't really materialize into much of anything. Dia with some nice Helix rockets did finally displace Shy. He'll be returning just 7% away from that tack visor. Coldest in the meantime sends out the nano boost in his dying breath over on Assassin, who, while he does have high energy, is not really able to find too many targets. It's a little bit of damage there onto Super Rich, but he gets focused up. Irony dove on, just get killed by Becky. Positive step here. Can they continue to break through? Irony getting ready to respawn. The tack visor now comes out from Shy. It's 100 energy there for Bernard, who's still holding on to the grab. Sashin taken down, the bubbles eliminated. Shy finds Dia in the end. As the Helix rockets connect onto Becky as well, just forcing his position back. The point still occupied by the Spark. 70% about to be on the board.
I mean, LA Valley just can't get enough members to actually win this one. Spark don't even spend ultimates, and they still have point control. Now they have still got 3 ultimates online, plus the beat on the way as well. Shy kills Becky. It's going wrong for the Valiant. They just can't quite get enough kills to cap.
It is all tumbling down right now. The grab, the Death Blossom, that combination is about to be available. Lengsa with the Sound Barrier as well can beef them up, but even if they get the flip, it's still going to be at 99% here for the side of the Spark. They will have to hold that the whole way up to 100 if they want to take this to University. Alpha Yi dropping down, waiting again, playing around the foliage. Cuts around the corner, moves up, Sound Barrier goes down, grab comes in, Alpha Yi caught up in it, but has the Sound Barrier shield to help keep him alive, as well as the Nano Boost. Dia now popping the tack visor. Becky going to be taking a nap. Coldest shuts down Shy. gets one out of the way, but Alfie comes swooping down from above, finds Dia. Sasha and Coldest are dead, and the OT is bleeding away. There is not a damn thing that Becky can do in the world. And while it all builds up to this miraculous Game 5, where maybe the Valiant can finally get the win, finally break the loss streak, unfortunately, ends with a whimper, not a roar. The Hangzhou Spark will take this 3-2. They are the ones finding redemption for their Game 5 failings yesterday. They are the ones who will continue adding wins to the board for themselves. And for the Valiant, it's a positive step. It's still a continuously better look for them game over game, but it's not the win that they so badly want.
Yeah, for Hangzhou Spark as well, you know, you're probably coming to the series, you're expecting them to be the stronger team, you're expecting them to win the series, but man, did they have to work for this one. It was also a rough ride. You go back to Dorado, not really close. It was a tough one for them, even on Colosseo at many points. You know, until we got to the final push, it was pretty neck and neck. So Hangzhou Spark had to really work for this victory today. It does establish themselves firmly as a top team in this region. I mean, I got Hangzhou Spark right at the top here. I'm sure John will be very pleased with this result, even though the Valiant made it super close. But like I said, even with Valiant losing, you still have to give credence to the fact that they're a team that are deserving of a win, absolutely. But they're a team that are pushing the very top teams in APAC to the distance. And a 2-1 lead that they still just can't quite secure. One day they'll get it, but it's not today.
Yeah, it does feel like it's that inevitability right now here in this season. You know, Shanghai Dragons, they came back in for 2019, lost those initial couple series before they were able to get that victory under their belts. So it should just be a matter of time. So hold out a little bit longer there, Valiant fans. Tay-Zonde, it should happen this year. This team does look significantly better.
Between now and December 31st, yeah.
Enough about that. Let's move on to our player of the match for the Hangzhou Spark. Let's celebrate the winners here. Now, 3-2 in this win. It's Alpha E picking it up here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark. This guy was just pretty great the whole way through, especially in those last few maps, shifting over to the Reaper, just finding an immense amount of impact.
And I'm seeing comments across the board like, man, who is Alpha Yi? I've never heard of this guy before. How have I never seen him play? Well, now you know him.
Because you haven't been paying attention.
Exactly, paying more attention, but now that I've got your attention, now that Alpha Yi's got your attention, my man is shredding on pretty much all the heroes that he's played across the board, even on the Reaper coming on through heroics towards the end that we saw on Oasis there. Smiles, I mean, he knew he really pulled the team through. I mean, there's so many moments in today's game where usually Shy would be your hero player, he'd be your hard carry, right? Shy was, I think, under a lot of pressure fighting up against Dia. But then you look at Alpha Yi, he was holding the mantle high. He was the one really pulling his team across the board when Shy wasn't able to do so. And that's something that I felt was missing from the Hangzhou Spark last year. And now Shy gets a DPS duo, I think, worthy of the team, worthy of being next to Shy and his talents that he brought to the franchise the previous years. And so with that combination, Spark are just looking on fire. That and the fact that I think Burner has just been playing phenomenally this year compared to last year as well. Alpha Yi, totally deserved. Player of the match, well done.
Yeah, I mean, Bernard's been having another great year, but I was talking about this, yesterday, I think, with Alpha Yi and how vindicating this is for myself, because, you know, if you haven't been paying attention, this is a guy who has been competing since 2018 in Contenders Korea, since the Overwatch League kicked off. He was on a team called Seven. He didn't look that great. They didn't really achieve much when he was playing in Contenders, but the man has been on the grind for the longest time, and it's got to feel so damn good to get on this lineup, to be surrounded by players who are all performing at a very high level right now in the APAC region, and to suddenly just be thrust into the conversation as a very strong candidate for, you know, Rookie of the Year. If he can continue to maintain this level of play the whole way throughout, I think he's definitely very much a part of that conversation. Obviously, still has some tough people to try to, you know, break out away from. Fusion's right there with him with a couple of their own rookies, but yeah, what a start to the season for him. It's good to see that he is starting to become a bit of a household name now in the Overwatch League community.
And yeah, he's played, you know, just looking through some of his previous rosters, he's played with people like Fielder, who everyone knows, super famous Fielder, Edison, who's making waves on the Dallas Fuel roster now as well, Jangu, who had a great performance last year. So all of these people, all these ex-teammates of Alpha Yi that have made it into the Overwatch League, and Alpha Yi's been there the entire time. That's why I said, you know, despite being a rookie, Guy, to me, is actually a bit of a veteran because he's been hanging around the scene for the longest time, just never got the shot. But Billy saw his potential, put him on their academy team, Billy Gaming. They won stuff in China. They were one of the top teams next to Chaser, and deservedly so. He gets to call up to the actual Hangzhou Spark roster, and my guy is just farming kids out there. One of the best players that we have in this region so far.
Yeah, I double checked it because I was like, I think I actually misspoke. It wasn't on 7. He was on GC Busan Wave as well as Meta Athena back in the day. So there you go. My bad on the 7 call out there, but all the same, man's been on the grind. That's the end point. He's up for Rookie of the Year at the moment. We're only a couple weeks into the season, of course, but like I said, if he can continue to ride this out, it's going to be absolutely wonderful. But guys, there you go. We've got the first week of APAC out of the way. It has been a long time coming. We have been waiting with bated breath, chomping at the bit for weeks and weeks, watching North America play at these off hours for myself and Avril. We're like, man, can't we just get back in there? Can we just cast some damn games? We're finally able to do it, and it feels great to be back. So thank you for tuning in here to our APAC games. Thank you to all of our wonderful production who have been side by side with us, working on off hours from North America to make this broadcast happen. We'll be back next week for more APAC action. So make sure you tune into that, because again, this is the best region. This is where the champions are made. So you definitely want to tune in. From myself and Avril, thank you for tuning in tonight. We love you. Good night.